After roughly 5 days in a war against Hamas militants, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and opposition leader Benny Gantz announced the formation of an emergency wartime government Wednesday. This government includes a war management cabinet, bringing in the members with extensive military experience and attempts to reduce the influence of Netanyahu's far-right and religiously conservative coalition. Today we will look at what is this emergency wartime government, who are the ministers involved, and the difference between leaders Netanyahu and Gantz's policy towards Gaza. In an agreement, Netanyahu and Gantz decided to form a war management cabinet composed of the two leaders along with Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, while the former IDF chief and current National Unity member of the Israeli Knesset, Gadi Eisenkot, and Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer will be observers. This relatively small group will take critical decisions on how the war is conducted, from the goals of the counteroffensive, operational orders for required military actions to exit strategies and more. Usually a 10-member security cabinet oversees such security-based decisions. Yet, in case of Israel's present security crisis, Gantz, also a former defense minister and IDF chief of staff, had demanded for a smaller war cabinet and that no non-war related legislation be passed in the Knesset under the emergency government. On the other hand, opposition leader Yair Lapid demanded Netanyahu oust far-right ministers Bezalel Smotrich and National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, which were not met, and hence the leaders yet to join the emergency cabinet. This unity government includes 5 opposition National Unity Party members. Some of these politicians include Defense Minister Gallant, former Minister of Justice Gideon Saar, former Cultural Minister Hilly Troper, the former Education Minister and former IDF Chief Staff Gadi Eisenkot. Gallant most recently ordered a complete siege on the Gaza region following Hamas's attack Saturday. On the other hand, National Unity MK Gideon Saar, who served as the Minister of Justice between 2021 and 2022, has been a staunch critic of the Netanyahu government. In June this year, he had openly accused the PM and his party of bribing coalition members and had stated that he won't bring Bibi back. Former IDF Chief of Staff Gadi Eisenkot has been strongly criticizing the government's controversial judicial reforms and even called for 1 million people to take to the streets if the reforms were passed in the Knesset. Given the difference in views between Gantz and Netanyahu, this unity government will significantly impact political management of the war. Gantz, the leader of the centre-right Blue and White Party, joined politics at the end of 2018 as an anti-Netanyahu leader. As defense minister, Gantz was a vocal supporter of using the Abraham Accords to support the Palestine Authority and boosting the Palestinian economy. The Palestinian National Authority controls the West Bank region. He also called for investment in strategic dialogue, infrastructure, stability, security and economic prosperity in the West Bank, rejecting any ideas of annexation of the region. On the other hand, Netanyahu and his party's policies focused on deepening Israeli occupation in the West Bank and implementing a status quo policy in Gaza, attempting to bypass the Palestinian Authority government led by President Mahmoud Abbas. Many viewed this approach has been propping up Hamas, even holding indirect negotiations with it through Egypt. According to various reports, in private meetings, the Israeli PM has often argued that those who oppose the establishment of a Palestinian state should promote funding to Gaza to create a division between the Palestinian Authority in West Bank and Hamas. This is not the first time that the two leaders have formed an emergency government. Israel has had a history of unity governments and coalitions. The first unity government was formed during the 1967 Six-Day War, consisting of 21 ministers. Since then, the country has experienced numerous unity governments in 1969, 1970, 1984 to 88, 1988 to 1990, in the 2000s and most recently in 2020. In 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic and in the backdrop of a political stalemate in the country, Netanyahu and Gantz formed an emergency alliance to handle the health crisis devastating the world. However, this government collapsed within 6 months due to Netanyahu's refusal to pass a national budget. This is Dishha Bagchi for The Print. Follow The Print for all the latest updates. Thank you.